There are so many different options on becoming an eco-volunteer, whether you're younger or older, crazy busy, or have loads of time on your hands to commit to volunteering. Here's some ideas to get you started. Don't forget to include your kids whenever you can, or at least talk about it with them so they know what you've been doing. First of all, what do you care about? Are you a birder with a passion for wildlife? A parent that's concerned about how your child will experience nature in the future? You like to exercise along nature trails? Think about what's really important to you, because you're probably going to be more committed to whatever you end up volunteering in if it's something that you're passionate about. Picking up trash keeps our lands cleaner looking and reduces risk to animals ingesting bits of trash. This is a great do-it-yourself project. You don't have to wait for some event, just grab a bag, some work gloves, and start looking around for litter. Keep safety in mind and don't pick up anything without proper protection if it could be a hazard. You may not have created the trash, but if you don't clean it up, who will? Keep the rules for recycling in mind when considering if something is trash or could be recycled. Check with your city or county to see which invasive species are an issue in your community and what can be done about them. Some invasive species of animals can decimate native populations of animals, and some invasive species of trees can send out chemical signals to native trees in the area not to grow. In 2020, I was just about fed up with everything that was going on, so I took my frustration out in the woods. I pulled about 5,000 little buckthorn plants and then cut down and treated a few hundred more of the buckthorn trees that were growing. But you want to make sure that you can identify the exact right species so that you're not harming species that may look similar to that one that you're trying to get rid of. And also find out exactly how to get rid of those species. So some species of plants that are invasive around here, like Japanese hedgeweed, you can just pull them and leave them in the forest. But garlic mustard, you want to bag them and not leave them laying around in the forest floor. So you don't want to make the problem worse as you're trying to help out. So know exactly what you're looking for and how to do it the correct way. Check out adoptadrain.org to see if your state has an official Adopt a Drain program. Basically what we do is we have a drain that we have adopted to take care of, and when it gets plugged up with leaves or mud or debris, we clean it out. So it's a really low time commitment volunteering gig, and sometimes if we're just walking around the neighborhood and all the drains are really plugged up, we'll bring bags and we'll take an hour to just do all the drains around the lake. And all that helps ensure a clean flow of water into our sewer system and that it doesn't get plugged up with debris. If you live near a body of water, whether that's a lake, a stream, a creek, or a pond, there may be an organization that's looking for some data on the water quality in that body of water. If you live in Minnesota, check out the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency's website and you can sign up for the program there. They'll give you a map where you can pick out the closest body of water that you're near that you can monitor. If it's a lake, a lot of times they want someone with a canoe or a kayak that can go out into the middle of the lake, but also you can do things like right from a bridge or the bank of a stream too. My kids love doing this one because then we get to play in the stream afterwards and look for crayfish or bugs or whatever. And they like putting the little Secchi disc in the top of the tube and then checking to see how the water clarity is. And then you kind of record if it looks like it's good for recreational use, if the water's clear or muddy, what the temperature is outside, and any other data that might be helpful. And that's one thing that you're like, oh, well, I don't really know anything about water quality. They train you in how to do it, so you don't have to worry if you haven't had any experience. If you're limited in what you can do physically, or maybe you just don't feel comfortable participating in in-person group volunteering projects, citizen science projects are a really great way to help contribute. Citizen science programs use data from all over the world to help get projects done faster and to get data points from many different places. So look for projects on SciStarter, Zooniverse, or if you take photos of nature, like plants or animals, you can upload them to iNaturalist. So those are all really good websites to get you started on citizen science. Again, you get trained in all the different things. My kids love to do these kind of before bed sometimes. It's something that they like to do to just like calm them down from the day. My kids like to do the trail cam ones especially, so you get a picture of a trail cam and you find the animal, you identify the animal, and again, all these ones, they train you in on how to do it. So you can do the trail cam ones, or we've done things like transcribe old letters or lists of things, or you can identify issues in eyeball veins. My kid wanted to do that one once. I was like, all right, so we learned about that. or even program the new Mars rover to recognize different terrains. So there's a whole wide variety of things that you can choose from, and there's always something new and interesting on there. There's also different times throughout the year where scientists may put out a call for like a Blitz citizen science project, maybe help with identifying butterflies during migration or firefly patterns at night in the summertime. So you can keep an eye out for those on those websites too. Those trees aren't going to plant themselves. Well, okay, yes they do. But they're going to get a lot more help from volunteers that are actively planting trees or reseeding prairies or collecting seeds to go to other prairies. So habitat restoration is a fun way to contribute to eco-volunteering, especially if you like getting out in nature and doing things. The last one I have is becoming a Master Naturalist. Look and see if your state has a Master Naturalist program. If you like being out in nature and knowing stuff and sharing that love for nature with others, then a Master Naturalist program might be for you. Just by being a Master Naturalist, you're going to be open to more opportunities for volunteering as well. And you can always spy a Master Naturalist group out in the wild because we wear like the wide-brimmed hats, the sunscreen, we have our pants tucked into our socks to protect us from ticks, so you can always see us out there working too. And becoming a Master Naturalist might be more than just like the tangible results of like, ooh, I planted X amount of trees this year. It can also help you introduce others in your community to nature and help advocate for others to have equal access to safe natural spaces too. So decide what you're passionate about, what your skills are, how much time you can commit to volunteering, and what the needs are in your community. And get out there and start doing some Google searching, do some asking around to see how you can become an eco-volunteer. If that was helpful, please give me a like, a share. If you want to follow along on our 52-week challenge towards living a more sustainable and eco-friendly life, go ahead and click subscribe down below and that little bell so you can follow along with us. Thanks!